I'm a fluffy dog with light brown fur and ears that flop down whenever. I'm curious about something, which happens all day long. My name is Boney, but my owner often calls me Naughty Little Rascal because I tend to knock things over in the house. That day was a beautiful sunny one, around mid-March 2024, when the sunlight streamed through the window, making the floor sparkle like a field full of toy bones I'd always dreamed of. I was sprawled out on my favorite rug, gnawing on an old worn-out rubber bone that still tasted delicious in my imagination. My owner, a young girl named Lily, was busy in the kitchen, and the smell of bacon wafted out, making my nose twitch nonstop. Life is a dream when there's bacon, don't you agree? But then, a strange sound came from the living room. I tilted my head, ears perking up. Wind? Birds? Or was it that neighbor's cat sneaking in to tease me again? I had to investigate. I ambled off the rug, my nails tapping a rhythm on the wooden floor. And then I saw it. A strange thing hanging on the wall. A shiny square frame. And inside it, another dog. It looked exactly like me, brown fur, floppy ears, big round eyes. But it had no smell. No smell means it's not real, right? Yet it stared right at me, its head tilting just like mine. I let out a low growl from my throat, the fur on my neck bristling slightly. "Who are you, daring to step into my territory?" I edged closer. Nothing but the scent of wood and a hint of dust. But that other dog came closer too, its nose pressing right up against the invisible boundary between us. I let out a loud bark to assert my dominance. It barked back, silently, but clearly mimicking me. How shameless, I thought, then leaped up, planting my front paws on the wall, barking nonstop. It jumped up too, its front paws hitting the wall just like mine. What kind of game was this? My mind was a total mess right then. Was this some kind of scentless ghost dog? Or an enemy from another world, like the ones the big dogs at the park used to talk about? Those beings that aren't real but feel so real? I decided to try a trick. I stepped back, sat down, and pretended not to care. I glanced to the side, gnawing on my front paw as if to say, I couldn't care less about you. But when I snuck a peek back, it was sitting too, gnawing its paw, exactly like me. I sprang up, barking louder. Woof, woof! Stop copying me! At that moment, I heard Lily's footsteps coming from the kitchen. She stepped out, holding a plate of bacon, the smell so heavenly it almost made me forget the enemy in the mirror. "Boney, what are you making such a racket for?" Lily asked, her voice a mix of surprise and amusement. I turned to her, wagging my tail frantically for help. "There's an invader in the house!" But then I glanced back at the mirror, and oh no, it was still there. Still staring at me with that smug, calm face. Lily set the plate down on the table, walked over to me, and bent down to look in the mirror. She burst out laughing. "Oh my gosh, Boney, you're barking at yourself!" "Myself?" I tilted my head again, totally confused. Lily rubbed my head and pointed at the mirror. "This is a mirror, it just reflects you." "There's no other dog, silly." I didn't understand what reflect meant, but I trusted Lily. She's the one who feeds me after all. She wouldn't trick me, all that day. Sometimes I'd hop around in front of it, other times I'd pretend to growl and then run off. But I wasn't scared anymore. Turns out the mirror was some magical human game where I could meet another version of myself without having to fight. That night, I lay on my rug, dreaming about having a real friend just like me to chase squirrels and eat bacon with. But thanks to the mirror, I realized something. Being myself is pretty fun already.